Today we are going to be looking at dividing fractions. So the first thing we need to do is write the reciprocal of the second fraction, which the reciprocal really means that we are going to flip the fraction. So say for example I had 1/2 and I was dividing it by 3/4. Okay, so the first thing I would need to do is flip the second fraction. So the 1/2 will stay the same, and it's now going to be 4/3. Okay? And now the second rule says once you flip the second one, the division symbol turns into a multiplication problem. So in this example I just did, I am now going to be multiplying those two fractions. Third rule says now rewrite your problem and follow your multiplication rules, just like we did in the last video. And then always the last thing to do is to reduce the fraction if it's possible. Okay, so let's look at our examples down here. First one, we have 3/8 divided by 2/5. Our first rule says to flip the second fraction. So 3/8 stays the same, and now it's going to be multiplication, and instead of 2/5 I have 5/2. And then our multiplication rule says that we just multiply straight across. So I'll take 3 times 5, which is 15, and that is a 5. And then 8 times 2, which is 16. So now I have 15/16. I can't do anything to make that simpler. They have no number in common, so that will be my answer. Now let's look at our second example. 2/7 divided by 4/7. Again, my first one stays the same. It's going to change to multiplication, and it's no longer 4/7, but it is 7/4. Okay. Multiply straight across, I get 14 on the top, and I get 20. And on the bottom I get 28. Now I need to check and make sure that these numbers are not, they can't be reduced, which they can be. So if we look over back at our problem, we'll notice that they both have 7s across from here. So I'm thinking I could take a 7 out of both of these. So let's try that. So I know if I take this 14 divided by 7, I'm left with 2. 28 divided by 7, I'm left with 4. But 2 and 4 still can be simplified even further. So I know there's a bigger number than 7 that can be taken out. But let's do the 7 and then simplify the next one, because that seems to be pretty easy. So if I take a 7 out of here, I am left with 2. Take a 7 out of the 28, I'm left with 4. Now a number that 2 and 4 are both divisible by are 4, or not 4, but 2, I'm sorry. So if I divide 2 by 2, I'm left with 1. If I divide 4 by 2, I am left with 2. So I am left with 1/2. So 1/2 is my answer. Then next, the last problem, we have 5/9 divided by 6/7. So the 5/9 stays the same. The division sign turns to a multiplication, and it's now 7/6 instead of 6/7. Okay, we multiply straight across. We get 35 on the top, and we get 54 on the bottom. Now we have to look and see if we can reduce 35/54. trying to make a video,
Oh,
and you totally just ruined it.
did I really?
Yeah. Sorry.
Um,
Yeah, I don't think that
you better take care of those fish in there. That fish tank looks terrible.
does it.
It looks the color of that.
What did they do to it?
It looks disgusting. The water's so cloudy. I don't know if Jose's gonna make it.
Uh-oh. So there is no number that 35 and 54 can go into, so that will be our final answer. I hope this helps you with dividing fractions.